Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
And good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring our video. So it's going to be a pretty busy day today, as well as getting into tomorrow. We have some heavy snow in the northern part of the U.S. that's currently falling, and it'll continue to go for the next 24 hours. But not only do we have that, we actually have a pretty decent risk for severe weather today. All modes are possible, so we're going to get right into that as well. And then as we get into tomorrow, that active weather pattern will continue, although it shouldn't be as bad tomorrow, especially as we get into tomorrow afternoon compared to what we will be seeing today into tonight. So we're just going to go very briefly into this. It's almost Christmas. We are almost 2 weeks away. We are, 15 days away from Christmas, so hopefully you guys are getting all your shopping done because we are running very low on time. So taking a look at our current conditions across the United States, it's actually very busy, very messy. We have some colder air to the north bringing in some heavier snow, as well as some showers here in Missouri down into our neck of the woods just east of Oklahoma City. So we're going to zoom right on into the colder part of this big system, dumping a lot of snow from the Dakotas, at least South Dakota into Nebraska, eastward into parts of Iowa, Minnesota, and into Wisconsin. And then we have the warmer part of the system to the south. So current conditions across the United States basically divided. Very cold to the north, it's only 30 in Minneapolis. You go south though of this warm front, you can see it starts to warm up pretty quickly. Basically, Kansas City, it's at 52. Dallas, you are at 77. Houston, you're at 84. So you can really pick out where this warm front is situated. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy day, and I'll get into why in just a second. A lot of moisture is in place as well. Dew points are getting up into the low to almost mid 60s here in Dallas with a 64-degree dew point. A little bit sticky down in New Orleans with a 71-degree dew point. So that moisture is starting to get its way on into the north. So that moisture is going to help in the development for severe weather. So we're going to go over this very quickly because you can see it's very, very busy. Winter storm warnings, as well as some advisories, are in effect in the northern part of the U.S., as well as in the Rockies and into the northwest part of the U.S. And then we also have some red flag warnings here in the southern part of the U.S. here in pink, and then basically all these yellows and tan colors are various wind watches and warnings and all that jazz. So this is a lot. Anything that is in your area here, make sure you tune into your National Weather Service for more details. So let's get into the snowfall also very quickly, because we actually have severe weather to talk about. Snow is currently falling, and as we get into the overnight hours and into your Saturday, this is basically what we can see in terms of more accumulation from now until Saturday at midnight. You can see these darker shades of blue here, so basically 6 to 8 inches for this band, and maybe some higher accumulations in the southeastern part of Minnesota. And as we get into tomorrow afternoon, basically over a foot of snow is possible in these areas shaded in purple, and even more than a foot of snow in these areas shaded in pink. And you can see we also have some heavy snow going on in the northwest. So if you like snow, you're going to get it. So in terms of the warmer part, we do have that chance for severe weather. We have a lot of instability, at least for this time of the year, starting to get into place here in the southern part of the U.S., from basically eastern Texas into eastern Oklahoma City, moving on to the east into Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way up into Missouri. As we get throughout the day, you can see this instability is really going to start moving on to the north. So St. Louis, you're going to get that instability up there as well. And then as we get later on into the evening, I mean, look at this. This is December, and we are seeing Cape in Illinois, Indiana. So it's going to be a pretty widespread event. And then as we get into the overnight hours, you can see the Cape doesn't look as impressive as it does right now, but it's still there. It's December. It's not April or May. It's December. So this is quite impressive to see instability this far north at this time of the year. And you can see it starts to drop off a little bit as we get near 5 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. So that severe weather will still be going on. So let's take a look at our future radar here. So this is at 5 p.m. You can see that we will have some heavier precipitation here from basically northern Illinois down south into Michigan. As we get later on into the evening, though, you can see some more robust activity is expected to develop. So basically parts of western Illinois, Chicago, you will see a chance for some marginally severe weather as we get later on into the late evening hours. Some more development, though, to the south in parts of Indiana and into Illinois, all the way to the south. I'll take another look at the southern part of the risk in just a second, because it is a pretty big area that we're focusing on. So this is at 10:30 Central Time, Chicago. Watch out basically from 9 p.m. to midnight for the potential for some severe weather. I think if there is hail, maybe up to quarter size, I think wind will be a better chance for you guys. And then as we get into the evening, you can see some more thunderstorms are possible as far east as Ohio. And then getting on into the overnight, you can see this activity just continues to go. We have a lot of the energy. We have what we call the low-level jet that's bringing in that moisture. So, hey, this is 2 in the morning and storms are still going, and that's why we have the energy in the low-level jet just continuing to pump in what's needed to get those storms to continue to move on and not really die off a whole lot. So it's quite concerning. And then as we get into 5 a.m., you can see that Cincinnati, you can be on the action as well. So it's going to be a pretty busy day here at the Hill Palace as we get into later on today and into tomorrow. So here's the southern part of our risk. A few pop-up showers, maybe one real thunder or two, are going to be around as we get into this afternoon. But then as we near dinner time, you can see a few storms will start to develop here in parts of Alabama and a very northern part of Mississippi into Arkansas. And then as we continue to go through our evening, you can see they're quite small, but they're isolated. So we got to watch these as they could produce some, not just hail or winds, but also the potential to produce tornadoes. We do have a moderate risk out for those today. So yeah, as we get into the rest of the evening and nearing the overnight, that activity will be crossing into Little Rock, eastward, getting into Memphis as we get Come on. Are we up? Hello? Woo!
We can hear it there. Let's go.
Okay, sorry guys, the receiver batteries died. It's our luck, right? Okay, so like I was saying, we do have a chance for hail today, although I don't think it's going to get gigantic. I think this may be stretching it, but we do have a chance to see up to golf ball size hail if those storms can get basically big enough. I think most of the hail, though, is going to be under golf ball, but there is a chance that we could see hail up to that size. So let's take a look at our hail forecast for today. Basically, we have a pretty large area that we're going to be watching from central Illinois down south into Missouri, down into Arkansas, eastward into parts of western Tennessee, maybe as far east as southwestern Indiana. So the best chances today, for at least in terms of cities, are St. Louis down into Jefferson, Missouri, as far south as Little Rock, Arkansas, up to golf ball size is possible. And like I said just a minute or so ago, this is kind of stretching it. I think most of the storms, if they produce hail, will get up to $half size, but it's not out of the question, I don't know if that's the right word, that hail can get up to golf ball size. And then the chances are going to be a little bit lower, but still there, from Memphis down into Jackson, Mississippi, westward to Shreveport, Louisiana, and maybe even Houston if those storms can get going. It's going to basically be a line by the time it reaches you guys in the early overnight hours. So yeah, we have hail, you guys. It's December, or at least the potential for that. And the city for today is St. Louis. I think the time frame is going to be between 5 and 9 p.m. We have a pretty decent chance to see hail, and the max size will be up to golf balls, although I think most of it will be a bit smaller than that if we can get those storms going. The chance that the hail will get up to 1 inch or larger, pretty decent chance. We have those conditions out there, but the chance that the hail will be above golf ball size is relatively low. So start doing those hail dances, you guys. Now, in terms of wind, we do have a very large area that we're watching for severe wind today, and not just straight line winds. We do have the chance to see some tornadoes, and it's going to occur after dark. So basically, if you're in these areas, especially in this hatched area from St. Louis eastward to Evansville down to Memphis, make sure you have your plans in place, especially since this activity will be occurring later on this evening and into the overnight. You don't want to be caught off guard and not be ready. So a chance for severe winds basically from Detroit westward to Chicago. A low chance, but still there. Up to 60 mile per hour gusts are possible. Higher gusts maybe up to 70 miles per hour as those storms move on to the east and turn into a line. So a moderate chance for Cincinnati and Nashville all the way down to Little Rock, and those higher chances for St. Louis, Evansville down to Memphis, and then those severe winds are possible all the way down to Houston. So a very large area that we're watching for not just severe winds, but for tornadoes as well. So again, guys, if you're in any of these areas, especially in the hatched area, don't be alarmed, just be ready in case something happens. And that means staying in tune to your National Weather Service as well as your local news stations, your radio stations for any updated information if anything does impact you guys later on today into tonight. So here is our jet stream. We do have this trough. This is what's causing all this havoc across the U.S. right now, the snow in the north as well as the potential for severe weather in the south today. As we get into tomorrow, that will start to move off to the east pretty quickly, and we will have a chance for severe weather across the eastern part of the U.S. tomorrow, although it won't be as bad, hopefully. And then as we get into Sunday, that system will be off into the Atlantic, and we should be pretty quiet for the next few days. But as we get into not just tomorrow or that Sunday into Monday, this is the next trough that we need to keep an eye on for maybe the middle of the week and see if this one does anything. We're getting into a little bit of an active pattern. It's quite interesting. It's December and it's also really warm, and that's not helping things either. So in terms of the surface, this is the low pressure system that is causing all the troubles right now. A lot of cold air north of this system, and with the moisture, it's falling as snow. And as we get into later on this afternoon, it's going to continue to develop and strengthen. The low will deepen. The warm front will be moving on to the north, and so you can see all the screen here, a lot of heavy rain. So if you're not dealing with severe weather on the warm side, you're going to be dealing with a lot of precipitation. So just make sure that you guys are careful today as well as getting into tomorrow. But this is at 9 p.m. Central Time this evening. The low will be right basically in the Chicago area. Cold air behind it. So Minneapolis, you're going to continue to get some really heavy snow. And then moving on into tomorrow morning, you can see the system starts to move off to the east pretty quickly. And so the severe weather threat will be ending for basically Missouri, northward into Illinois and all that. High pressure will be in control. It'll be a lot better for you guys tomorrow. And then getting into Saturday evening, you can see this system will race on to the east, and severe weather will be possible though still along the eastern part of the U.S. And then as we get into the overnight hours on Saturday into Sunday, that system is off the coast and high pressure will be in control. And basically for the most part, we will be quiet in the U.S. except for the northwest where more snow will be falling. And you can see another low pressure will be moving on and getting onto the western part of the coast as we get into Monday afternoon. And a low pressure here and there here in the south, but nothing in terms of severe weather is expected at least until through Tuesday, because that's as far as I got, because accuracy. And here is tomorrow's future radar. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning. A lot of heavy rain here in the northeast. Severe weather will be possible basically from western Pennsylvania into Ohio, southward into Kentucky. Like I mentioned, there's going to be that instability and the moisture, so this activity is not expected to really die out as we get into the overnight and early morning hours. So make sure you guys are tuned into your local weather stations and National Weather Service stations like I mentioned. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, that activity will still be there, but the severe potential should start to weaken, which will be some good news if you guys don't like severe weather. And then as we get into Saturday evening, a pop-up storm or two will be possible here in the northeast, but I think it will be mostly just in the form of maybe a rumble of thunder. And then as we get into the overnight hours, that front will be moving off the coast, as you can see here. So the best chance will be basically for severe weather will be in the afternoon tomorrow. And getting into the southern part of the risk area, you can see we're going to wake up with more storms from Kentucky down into central Tennessee into Alabama and Mississippi, all the way down to Houston as that cold front moves on to the east. I think it's going to be more of a wind threat down here as well as a tornado threat. So same deal, make sure you guys are ready to go if you guys get a warning. And then getting into tomorrow afternoon, this line will continue to move on to the east, bringing some wind potential to Atlanta, into parts of central Alabama, so Birmingham all the way down to just east of Jackson. Houston, you should be good by then. It'll be for the morning time for you. And then moving on into the afternoon, as that cold front moves on to the east, the activity should start to actually weaken a bit, and it should be more of just some heavier showers and storms, and maybe an isolated gust or two. So we got on that. And then, like I said before, like in the northern part, that front will be moving off the coast overnight from Saturday into Sunday. And now for tomorrow's hail forecast, it doesn't look very impressive. Maybe up to $50 size hail as that front moves on to the east. And I think this is going to be mainly in the morning from Cincinnati into Louisville, Kentucky, down into Nashville. So basically 7 a.m. to maybe noon max. That is when this risk is going to be. And in terms of wind, if my graphics will move for me, there we go. This is tomorrow's wind forecast. Basically same areas, but further south as well as further east. Up to 60-mile-per-hour gusts are possible. The strongest gusts will be from Cincinnati down into Nashville as that line moves on to the east, and then that will be all she wrote as we get into tomorrow afternoon, evening, as this activity will be moving on to the east and then be moving off the coast. So just kind of very quickly, if you guys don't know the differences, there will be a pretty decent chance to see some tornadic activity today, so you got to make sure they're ready. If a watch is issued, just be prepared. There's no tornado or anything on the ground, or even a storm that may be producing one. Just be ready in case something does develop, as conditions will be favorable. If a warning is issued for your area, please don't go outside and look and see, oh, it's not coming our way, we're not going to do anything. If there's a warning for your area, make sure you take action. And if there's a tornado emergency, make sure you guys are below ground. And speaking of below ground, some basic weather safety. If you guys don't know this, if a tornado warning is issued, you gotta take shelter in the lowest place of your home. If you don't have a basement, the best places to take shelter are in the middle of your home. Try and get as many walls between you and the storm as you possibly can. So the middle of your home, get into a closet or a bathroom and cover yourself with blankets or mattresses for protection. And of course, stay away from windows and doors and those outside walls, as if a tornado does happen, it will blow out those things and knock things over, and it'll just be a very bad situation. So if you don't have a basement, these are the best places to take shelter in your home. And yeah, like I said, the best place is a basement. If you don't have one though, the middle of your house is the best bet. So that's all I have for you today. It's going to be a busy day today and tomorrow. If you haven't already, I highly recommend that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so you don't miss anything. And if you have any questions, concerns, or just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather K. Hope you all have a great rest of your Friday and weekend.